My name is Randy Colton. I own an advertising agency and I'm 61.
I'm Jeremy Carey. I'm a teacher at Mount St. Mary Catholic High School in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and I am 29 years old.
My name is Kaylin Henderson. I'm 26, almost 27, and I'm currently a marketing director for a dental office.
We've been married 8 years. Been together longer than that, but married 8 years.
I've been married to my spouse for 6 years. We're getting ready to start our 7th year in January.
We've only been married for 4 months, but we dated for 5 years before.
How did I meet my spouse? In prison. We were both in the same, we were both in solitary, and she was right down. I met her at I had an investment in a company that she was involved in the financial end of it, and I had just gotten divorced, and God smiled on me, and I got to see that darling girl that's my wife, and it's been pretty good stuff. She is a keeper.
I was in college. We were both in college. I was a sophomore and she was a junior, and it's kind of a funny story. My roommate asked if he could bring a girl over to hang out, and I made the quip, well, she better have a friend for me, and funnily enough, the friend for me was who I ended up marrying.
Basically, I was working for the basketball team and he was coaching, and we just developed a really strong friendship.
I think the thing that made me feel the most confident about her was I can be myself around her. I never had to wear a mask or anything, you know. We all have bad habits or anything, but she was never judgmental about it.
Do I think that a friendship is necessary to maintain a good relationship? Yeah, I do. I think eventually all frauds get found out, and that off the charts attraction that I had for her originally, you know, it's fantastic, but that still is kind of surface level. You're going to figure that part of it out, and once you figure that out, now what are you left with?
So just because you get a spouse who's going to help you up that ladder or up the mountain or whatever we're climbing doesn't mean that now they have all the answers. So I'm even just experiencing this right now, 4 months. I mean, whatever, we've been dating for a really long time. Where you kind of start to depend on that person so much that's like you forget to learn things for yourself, or this is what they think about me, so that's what I am.
Be honest with them, because if you can't trust your partner, who can you trust in this world? I mean, because that person obviously loves you enough that they want to make a commitment to stay with you for the rest of your life and the rest of their life. And so you have to be open, you have to be honest, and you have to understand that they're going to have faults, you're going to have faults, and you're going to dislike them one day, they're going to dislike you another day, but marriage is a long haul, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint.
I think you've got to respect your partner. I just do. And when I say respect, I don't mean calling her yes ma'am. I mean respect her. I mean, you know, when she's hurting, you gotta give her some latitude. When she needs something, she's the first woman I've ever known, or I've ever met, that I truly cared enough to put myself second.
I think being super understanding, really embracing each other's passions, and being excited for one another, and being able to say I'm sorry and not being embarrassed about it.
A marriage is a lifelong commitment. For some, maintaining a strong marriage can be difficult. It's important to remember sometimes to put yourself second. We are naturally selfish and tend to look out for our best interests rather than others. Treat your partner's needs as if they were your own. Learn to love your differences, and the relationship will grow even stronger. Communication is key. Talking through problems with a clear head is so important and will lead to less heated arguments. Remember to have fun and never stop expressing your love. Having complete happiness is something to strive for in a marriage. You should never find yourself not showing love to your significant other. Always treat their successes as your own. At the end of the day, it's about being able to spend the rest of your life with your best friend.
My name is Kate Smith and I'm 18 years old.
My name is Mr. Shilley. I'm 22 years old and my occupation is high school English teacher.
I am Bree Sizemore. I am 41 years old and I am a PE teacher and a softball coach.
Having a faith life has impacted my life because I strive to be kind to others and not hold any grudges and just live life to the fullest. So yeah, that's just something that God has put something on my shoulders that He expects me to carry with me is kindness.
Yeah, I do believe that faith is necessary for living a fulfilled life. And that was something that for a long time I just believed because it was what I had been told. But then in college, when I started spending more time by myself and looking more towards like my future and trying to figure out how I was personally going to be fulfilled, I started to realize that it was going to be impossible for me to do that without any kind of faith aspect. I wasn't going to be able to find meaning in my life.
I have struggled with my faith and also doubted the existence of God. It's happened more than once, but I always had somebody or something that just reminded me that God was always there, and no matter how far I went away, He was always right there, so I could always go back. So even if it took me 6 months before I decided that it was worth trying out again, it was always there. It was always available.
This past year I really found God and I am starting to go to church a lot more. And I could say that I'm a lot more happy than I used to be because of that, and I just find it amazing.
Where I would have maybe been a little quicker to kind of just go with the crowd and go with the flow, my faith background helped me to kind of stay strong in my own convictions and make my own decisions throughout college. And I'm not saying I always made the right decisions, but I always knew that I was making my decision and not like following the crowd. The first like real faith-based relationships that I started having were the first, like, they were different, and I like noticed that.
My advice for somebody struggling with their faith is just to never give up. Like, even if it's 6 months, 6 years, whatever the case may be, just do what you need to do to get clarity or distance, or sometimes you just got to get away from it all, but to always remember that God is always there.
Faith is ingrained in each of us, whether we know it or not. In the unexplainable moments, the ones too beautiful to comprehend, faith gives us that guiding hand to bring us to something we can understand. Faith fills the hole in our hearts. Without it, we are incomplete. We can feel it inside ourselves and know it to be true. Faith is always there for us. Even during our lowest points, God is always there to help us. No matter how far we may stray from our faith, it is always something we can return to. Through our faith, we can learn to be better people. By spreading kindness and helping others, we will gain fulfillment. Faith can bring great joy into our lives and give us the strength we need to get through difficult times. Even when we feel completely alone, our faith and the people we surround ourselves with will always be there to support us.
How long have I been working at my current job? I've owned the agency for probably 5 years, but I've been in the ad business for probably 40.
I am a marketing director for a dental office in Drumright, And then I also have a part-time job where I do videography, mainly wedding videography, but also jumping into all sorts of different avenues of video. And I've been doing that for 6 years now.
I have been working at my current job of being an educator for 19 years. In my current school, this is my 14th year there.
From all of these different jobs that you have, you realize, oh yeah, I was way more passionate about that in that project with that thing in that class, whatever. So maybe I should try this. And don't be afraid of like change either.
There have definitely been moments where I questioned whether or not I made the right choice. But, you know, talking to other teachers or students or parents, or having one of those God moments where somebody just steps in and says something that completely takes me by surprise and reminds me of that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. That's what's steered me back towards it. But there have definitely been times I questioned it.
You have got real talent. You need to nurture that talent. And don't pigeonhole yourself. You may take your talent in the wrong direction and kind of right that ship and go in the right direction. But regardless, stay in that vein that truly makes you get up every morning, and you will be just fine. I would take content and happy over money every day.
I think if you kind of have an idea, some people that don't have an idea, heck, go take a ton of electives, you know? And then from there, try to start like narrowing it down.
I also think that if you aren't willing to change, you're not willing, that you can't grow. Like, growth only happens when you're willing to step out of your comfort zone. So if you ever want to get better at something, you have to be able to step out of that comfort zone and take a risk.
I just think it's so key, you know, being in a workplace where you can walk away most days and say, it was a cool day, you know, like I love my coworkers, I loved my students, whatever it may be, the engineers that you're with, the doctors that you're hanging out with, the patients that you have, whatever. If you can't walk away every day, most days, everybody's gonna have bad days, but if you can't walk away most days and say, yeah, I like this place, then it just starts to be toxic.
Taking a chance and finding a vocation that truly inspires you, and to thine own self be true. You know what you dig. You know what you don't dig. So stay with what you dig. It's not cavalier.
Society pressures us to feel like we have to have our entire lives planned out at 18 years old. The colleges we attend, majors taken, and jobs could ultimately determine how successful we are for the rest of our lives. It is okay to not have it all figured out. There is so much time to find a career path. Try new jobs and see what you like. It's normal to switch through many jobs during your lifetime. Keep searching for a job that interests you. Once you finally find your passion, pursue it. You can always change your path. Nothing is set in stone. Sometimes you'll try something and immediately know it's not for you, and that's okay. Be open to new experiences and keep trying until you find the right path. Take risks. You will never make progress if you aren't willing to get out of your comfort zone. If you fail, learn from the experience and try again. Get a job that you enjoy doing and the rest will fall into place.
My name is Allison Young and I'm 19 years old.
My name is Dorothy Uhr and my age is 75 years old.
I actually struggle with doubt all the time. Doubt in, I feel like all aspects of my life.
I feel like no matter what you do, there's always doubt in the back of your mind, whether it's your doubt or your parents telling you, I don't know if you can do this, or your friends, you know, or your advisor, everyone saying, are you sure you want to do this? Is this what you want to do? And today there's just so much competition, and everyone's fighting to be the top of the class. Everyone's trying to work the hardest so they can get that job. And so it's hard not to doubt yourself.
Listen to yourself. It's my strongest advice. If people would listen to themselves and pay attention to what they're feeling and they're thinking, usually you'll have a clue if you really pay attention to yourself and your feelings.
I also think that you could rely on other people way too much. You know, I want the approval of other people way too much, or I need to hear what they would have to say before I do this, or what would they think if I made this decision, and how is that going to affect them? And I think that that can be toxic too.
If you're doubting yourself, just look at your past accomplishments and all the past decisions you've made, and use those decisions and your past experience to just give you the reassurance that you need, and know that everything in the end is going to fall into place.
When you're not honest with yourself, I think that's what brings doubt, because you know you're wanting to go one way self-consciously, but the world and everybody else and your parents and your whoever friends are telling you to go another way. So you're wanting to like come towards them to make them happy, but really you're like, but I really think I'm supposed to go this way. And so that's what causes all that doubt, right? So I just think learning to be honest, not being afraid of failure, and when you were wrong, to just dust it off and start over.
Doubt is present in all aspects of our lives. Most decisions we make are impacted by doubt on some level. Doubt causes us to feel so unsure about ourselves and our abilities that we often end up getting stuck in a crossroads. When doubt creeps in, reflect back on all of your past accomplishments, decisions, or setbacks, and remember how you managed to get through those. Remember your strengths. Doubt can cause us to feel weak and unsure. By reminding ourselves of how strong we are, we can combat these insecurities. Be honest. Deep down, you know what you really want, but the pressures of others can cause doubt. By being honest with yourself, you will be able to make a decision that is best for you. Have confidence in yourself. If you fail, have the courage to get back up. Overcoming doubt is by no means easy, but it is possible with the right mindset. All of these experiences, good and bad, shape us into who we are. Surround yourself with people who inspire you. Never stop learning, never stop creating. Be patient, be kind, and most importantly, never forget who you are.